Hello, my YouTube friends. Thanks for joining in tonight. Thanks so much for joining in, man. I appreciate it. We got a lot of great things going on. Man, it feels good to be here and be with you guys tonight. We got some cool stuff we're going to be talking about, man. Why we should be networking our music and our goals. Man, that is a very good topic, right? Why we should be networking our music and our goals. It's more than just getting in the studio and recording, isn't it? So many beautiful things about the music industry. So much to learn, right? Hang on one second, guys. For 1 second, I want to try something out and see if I can do this. Oh man, what a day! What a day, man! I've just been doing so much. And I tell you what, it feels good to be on here with you guys tonight. See if I can get this going on. Hang on 1 second. Come on, man. A little hocus, a pocus. See if this works. There it is. Okay, cool. Why we should be networking our music and our goals. What a great thing that isn't talked about that much these days, and especially the times that we're in right now, man, with this crazy stuff that's been going on with the lockdown and all this other stuff, man. There's so much talent out there, so many musicians. I run into musicians every day with such great talent, great voices, just great musicians, as a whole, um, being very good in several different areas, not just being able to play one instrument, but being able to play many instruments. And I think about these people that are just been honing in on their skills for all these years. But here's the thing, man, they don't know how to get their music out there to be heard, and they don't really know really too much about networking and what networking can do, and the possibilities that it can bring us all together with the internet these days, man. So I was in a group at one time. I learned so much from this group. It was amazing. It wasn't to promote my music or anything, but it was to promote my business, and it was called Business Networking International, and that short would be BNI. And it was a group that I attended every week, and we would pretty much step up there and stand up in front of many people in a room and tell them who we wanted to get in touch with, and what our prospects were as for why we wanted to reach out to this person, and what we do and how we can do business with this person, and how we want to do business with this person. And the whole group would invite everybody in, everybody that was part of the deal, as you had to invite a friend or three friends or as many friends as you could each week. These are business owners themselves, and these business owners would come in, and like I say, that it's just this one big, huge round table. Everybody would sit around, and it would probably be 30 people in there sometimes, and you would have to stand up, tell everybody your name, tell everybody what business you were in, and tell everybody who you were looking for and why you wanted to do business with them. Man, when I first started doing that, I would talk about nervous, standing up in front of a whole bunch of people and telling them, what you did, and what kind of business you were in, and who you were wanting to get in contact with to do business with. It was such a neat thing. There's my friend right there, Dennis. What are you doing, my friend? I'm gonna pull you in, man. I'm gonna pull
Cool.
you. I
You're
see.
hearing me all right?
Oh man, it's so good to see you, man. How are you?
Likewise. Very good.
How you been doing, man?
You know,
Ah,
one day at a
oh,
time with this whole business.
I know. I know. And tonight I wanted to really pull you in, Dennis, because you of all people uh, what we're going through in your business right now, which you do.
Sure. Hmm.
And so I wanted to do a show tonight, man, and maybe you can help me and maybe you can help other people that join in as to why it's important to do business networking. And just like you and I right here talking and talking
It's
about
it's 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 a matter of numbers. The more people that you have as possible clients, the exponentially raises the amount of clients that you will have,
right, right, right. And
and
so
keeping those relationships, obviously, because you just can't send an email and say like, hey, here I am, and hope for the better.
right,
You have to give them a reason to want to hire you.
right.
Not just the work that you do, but if you find a way to make yourself more personable, that's always an advantage.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
I was telling the group that I used to be involved in a group, a larger group. It was called BNI,
Hmm.
and it's Business Networking International, what it is. And so I would actually have to go in, Dennis, and talk about it's pretty spooky at first, right? And go in and you stand up in front of a crowd of 30 people, man,
Hmm.
and you tell them what type of business you're in, what you do, and who you're looking for,
Right.
who you want to get in touch with. It may be somebody that I want to do business with this person over here, but I just don't know how to reach out and get a hold of him. But you would come in
Sure.
and say, "Well, hey, Randy, I know this person, and I'm gonna hook y'all up."
Hmm.
And I tell you what, that was an experience for me, man.
And believe it or not, there aren't a lot of people that do that professionally. At least not in our industry. Traditionally, it's something that you do when there's either big conferences, or particularly lately, obviously with the advance of the internet, it's much easier to reach out to people.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and you just got to take advantage of that.
Right, right. Hey, by the way, I like your T-shirt, man.
Man, I ran across on the internet someone who's basically leading an effort to save the property and make it back into a studio in the same place.
Oh wow.
It's gone through a whole ordeal through the years, and you can follow this. I ran across it on YouTube, and it's pretty interesting. And they have it, obviously, a shop where you can buy stuff, and most of the proceeds go towards this place that these people are trying to save the studio. I mean, it's in the same place. Basically, the property was partly destroyed by a fire a few years ago,
Oh wow.
and a number of different people bought it, and now they're basically going to keep the location but build a whole new studio,
Oh
and
wow.
hopefully, you know,
They'll
make
get
it
it go.
stick.
Yeah. Are they
I'm
getting?
surprised. I'm surprised it never, kept going, because it had besides the fact that Rush did their thing there,
Mhm.
um, they weren't the only famous people that recorded there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh
So
yeah.
are they getting close to, pulling it all together as far as,
I didn't read too
getting the
much of it because this happened literally the last few days.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I received the shirt today. I was like putting it
Oh, wow.
on.
Yeah.
I got I cut it out of the envelope. They had the studio mailing label, so I cut that out. I'm keeping that one. It's pretty
Nice.
nice to get an email from the same address.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
it was
Yeah.
pretty interesting. So I'll send you the link a little later.
Yeah.
It's you can buy like pieces of the walls, stuff
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
Oh, wow. Oh,
It
that's
comes
cool.
with it comes with a certificate. But I was like, hey man, I'm not trying to have a T-shirt. I don't need a moldy piece of Canadian wall,
No, man.
regardless.
But you know what? Hey, man, it means a lot to a lot of people, right?
Oh,
And so,
obviously,
yeah,
and I pulled the trigger immediately. I was like, this is the least I can do to support something like this, and I'll wear this anytime,
that's
you
awesome,
know.
man.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, man, so I know that you joined in on my Facebook
Hmm.
page, and I deeply appreciate that, man. I'm trying to just reach out to people, and it was another guy on YouTube
Hmm.
uh, that's a subscriber here that said, "Man, why don't you do that?" And it was something in my mind to do, but I just never got around to doing it. And I thought, man, what a great way to network.
Hmm.
and pull other musicians in, other engineers in, and just create this, chain
Yeah, it's
where
just a
we
small networking community of people. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, and I thought, "Wow, why not do it?" And so I did, and, it's gonna be interesting to watch that page grow, man, and people, put come in and sing a
Hmm.
little part or whatnot, so it's gonna be neat to see how that works, man.
Nice. Absolutely.
How you been doing, man? How are you?
Staying low, just kind of watching the weather kind of change a little bit. It was really cold last week, and all of a sudden, like 60s now. So I'm
Mm.
just hoping to be able to go out, get out more. Go out fishing. Trout fishing. Trout season begins on the first, so
Oh, man,
I
did you
am excited to get out of the house and go walk around the woods for a bit.
Oh, I bet, man. I bet there's nothing better, you and I are both fishermen, and we love
Hmm.
fishing. By the way, did you see those pictures I took down at the beach?
Yeah, man, they all look great.
The water was so beautiful, and I heard in Galveston,
Hmm.
they were catching tuna. What?
Wow, must
I
have
thought that
been
was
water. Must have been cold.
it must have been really cold, man, but they were just raking in the big tuna,
Huh?
and I've never heard of that, man.
Close to shore, or
Evidently so, man.
weird? That's
It was
strange.
so weird, but I'm gonna tell you, man, typically, the Mississippi River runs in to the
Right.
Gulf right there, and our
Hmm.
water here isn't really the prettiest water, okay?
No, you see, it's murky. I know, but it's the delta, so it's always going to be changing, and there's all kinds of stuff. So there must have been something flowing out
And, man,
that those two were zeroing in.
I know, and the water was blue, blue, aqua blue all the way to the shoreline.
Right, like oh, you mean that's like murky, like aquamarine blue type of thing,
It just was beautiful, man. I've never seen the water
but
that pretty, man.
not clear though. It was just murky blue.
Well, it looked when the water broke, you could see
Right.
the clarity in the wave, okay? So, I mean, I didn't get out in it, I actually didn't even walk in it, man, but I'm sure it was chilly, I'm sure
Because I've seen it down in Florida sometimes, in even in the ocean, where it's also the delta where this big river near Fort Myers comes out, and the water, even though it's blue, like you see like my monitor right there,
Mhm.
it's just still murky. It's like chlorine. So
Right.
that's what I
Oh,
mean.
yeah.
But sometimes, if you go in May, for instance, usually in May there's very little turbulence and stuff, and at least in Naples the water's like a fish tank. It's clear.
Clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. But they were catching tuna in the
Hmm.
Gulf, close up.
Wow.
I'm assuming. I've never heard of that, man. So, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. But I'm ready for the trout season too, man. I'm so ready. But here's the thing, when I was coming back home the
Hmm.
whole way, Dennis, the whole way home, 87 actually runs, horizontal to the Gulf, okay?
Right.
And birds were hitting the
Cheers, everybody.
water. Cheers, man. I'm drinking tea, but cheers anyway, my
I'm
friend.
drinking scotch.
There you go. So look, man, the birds were hitting the water all the way down the coastline in the first gut.
Hmm.
So there was bait in there. I don't know what they were eating on, but they were eating on some bait.
It must have been, yeah.
It
Very
was
cool.
not it was very cool, man. I just wanted to jump out.
No, I
And
can't wait to get out. I'm like starting to you know
yeah,
get lost in thinking about going fishing.
right, right, right. Well, how long are you guys let me ask you, are you guys, still in lockdown where you're at? I mean, as far
No,
as
there never was really a strict lockdown, so to speak. It was just basically like if you don't need to be out, just don't. I think there was a few weeks in the beginning when it was really getting bad out here in New York, where they were like basically curfewed after, I think after 9 p.m. You need to have a really good reason to be out.
Oh, wow.
They weren't
Oh,
really enforcing anything, but you wouldn't see really as many cars, and people really, there was really nothing going out. So
right. It wasn't like they needed to get it people need to get out anyway, I mean, at that time.
yeah, and obviously people's comfort level with being outside was very low at that point. People were like, I don't want to die, and
Right.
still to some extent it is that way. But the fact that now everyone's getting vaccinated, I found out today I can get vaccinated starting tomorrow, because they sent all this news thing saying the governor lowered the restrictions. Basically said like 50 and over can now get vaccinated. And somebody sent me the text, and I'm like, wait, but I'm not fit. Wait, yeah, yeah, I'm 50. I was like, damn.
Oh. Well, don't remind yourself that, man.
Right.
We wanna
No, well,
stay
the fact that
yeah.
I can get vaccinated is cool because as of before this morning, I had no idea when that was going to be because the state had no clue.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you, how you feeling, man? You feel
Oh, I
good?
feel fantastic. I just,
Great.
I've been
Great.
drinking lots more water, um,
Mhm.
and sleeping better and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Last night, man, I hit the sack, and I'm telling you, man, I was out. It was one of those things where you go into that REM state,
Hmm.
and you're dreaming, and you just wake up and you feel refreshed. I did
Yep.
that last night, and it feels nice to do that every now and
I got to think about calming down because I always have, even if there's two or three project, so to speak, going in my mind, there's also a few things that are happening also that I'm thinking about at the time.
Yeah.
Be it music or stuff that I want to listen to or projects that I want to begin or continue
Mhm.
because there's all kinds. For instance, the last I would say couple of weeks I've been updating everything that's software.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the
Wow.
computers, they need all the softwares and all the drivers installed. I also got a couple of keyboards that I was trying around for my kid and for me, and that's cool. I got this orchestral software that's pretty neat for the price.
Mhm.
It's called Jesus. What is it called? It's not called Jesus. It's called Philharmonic. It's from I
Philharmonic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
from IK Multimedia. It's like 100 and change. It's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool. I used to have the the light version of it on the other computer,
Yeah.
but I wanted to get the real version on this, and it's not bad. The sounds are, if you know what you're doing and you have a decent keyboard,
Mhm.
you can do a lot of damage with it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And so it's MIDI and everything. I'm sure it's MIDI
Oh
where
yeah,
you
it's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Look, I'll show you that. This is one of the ones I get. I got this little M audio thing, but
Nice.
I have a regular Roland 88 weighted action thing, and
Okay.
that one's hooked up through my interface. This goes directly through MIDI, through USB,
Nice.
and it's got all that stuff like the pedal stuff. You can do it on the if you want to sustain a note, you can do it from the keyboard. You don't have to hook up. You can, but you don't have to.
Right.
So it's
Right.
nice if you're messing around on the road or whatever, and then you can do stuff like this.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, Dennis. I
It's
like it.
ridiculous
It
because I'm
doesn't
not
matter.
doing. All you have to do is play the back keys, and you're good.
Yeah. So, but once you
Yeah,
get it
look, I'm doing all black keys.
no.
It sounds like a movie.
I know, but here's the thing, man. Once you get it in MIDI, you can alter it from there, and that's the beauty of, doing stuff in
Well,
MIDI,
I do a
right?
few things because obviously these programs are pretty heavy in terms of RAM and everything. So if you unless you have a really modern system that you can run, through 3, 4 instances of that plugin.
Mhm.
I mean, with one instance, my laptop takes it basically like halfway of the RAM.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I do is once I have the performance recorded, I'll bounce it and record it on the track. So it's not hogging that up. I can save the setting of the plugin so I know the sound that I used. I will note it on the track notes on the bottom of the track if you're working in Pro Tools.
Mhm.
And, close that thing, save that RAM. The performance is still there. Ask the instrument that I want it to be. If it's a string part, there it is.
Right.
Like anyone building up any kind of orchestral parts, which is basically what I'm working on lately. Um, you're doing parts. You're going to do the violins, so you're going to do another parts of violins, or whatever you choose to do.
Right.
So it works at least for that workflow, if you want to
N
call it that.
Nice. And, the sounds that you can get out of that thing is amazing, right? I mean
Yeah, that, and then the fact that the plugin itself has a lot of control, and then if you treat it right in terms of the effects and how you mix it, it's gonna sound pretty neat.
mhm.
So in fact,
Mhm.
I tricked this. dude I know, this drummer I know. He's a younger drummer. He's a really good drummer, but he's younger. This is how young he. This is how young we're not. Do you remember that NXS song? The Never Tear Us Apart has the
Yeah.
violin and the
Yeah,
stuff.
I love it. I love
I
that song.
I
That video
caught
rocks.
I copied the whole thing with the software, right?
Wow, wow.
And I sent it to him, and I say, "Hey, Berto, I'm thinking about doing something with this, man. It needs to be hip hop." And me, I'm thinking that he's heard this song before.
Right, right. And he kn
He goes, "Yo, man, that's dope. I'm gonna drop something for you."
Oh,
Because
dude.
he's no he's the drummer for my client, JT Taylor, so he's a pretty amazing drummer.
Oh, wow.
But then uh um
So
the
you
tech
did you tell him?
I had sent the text out to a group. It was a group text for him and this other guy that I know, and the other guy's my age, and he commented back as, "I don't think Berta knows that that's a hit song."
I used to love that song, man. The video's really cool too, where
It
he's
was
just
awesome, and
walking. Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh,
that when that band was just really kicking butt. They had really great production,
wow.
and
Wow.
obviously it helps that they wrote some incredible songs.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I don't really know the story behind that, but uh what happened to the singer
Well,
actually?
he did what he did, or at least what allegedly what happened is that he hung himself doing some kind of suffocation thing,
Okay.
and and just
Did
I
he ever
guess
drink?
I guess he misjudged, and
Wow,
you
wow.
know
Yeah, that's sad because, man, his their music was really, really
well,
distinctive.
imagine. I mean, there's still those guys are still pretty prevalent in Australia. But
Yeah,
imagine if he had lived, they would still be basically a huge band. I would say they would rival U2 any day of the week,
yeah.
at
Oh,
least
wow.
back then. I
Oh, I
mean, they
love it.
had, I think, in terms of songs,
Mhm,
and this is just my opinion, of course, they had better material than U2 after a while. After a
mhm,
while, U2 was just like too much into the gimmick of effects and a lot of not, sure, they're still very capable and have written many hit songs since. But I
mhm.
think they've kind of went down a little bit. They were doing too much cookie cutter stuff. A lot of
Right.
bands, after a while, I just kind of, they I became disinterested with them,
Mhm, mhm. I wonder if
and
they just
they're one of the ones that just I just kind of they lost it for me. Rush lost it for me for after a while.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's sad, man, but I was gonna say, so the drummer, he never heard that. He
No,
never heard what you sent him.
you might hear my kid practicing trombone.
Oh, nice. I did
Yeah,
hear that.
yeah,
He he's in the other room.
yeah.
He's
I'm sure my neighbor's loving it.
Oh,
Oh
that's
well.
I hear it.
See,
Uh-huh.
I
That's
told him. I told him it's shouldn't sound like a sick elephant. So.
uh-huh. Look, let him go, man. It's great that he's doing it though,
Oh
right?
yeah, I'm not putting a fight.
You know. So, man, what's going on in the music industry, man? Help me out, help my subscribers out. Give us your insight on what
Well,
you think, Dennis.
I was walking to the bathroom and I watched the Grammys, but I kept going, and that's as far as I got.
Wow.
I logged on, I think a couple of days before the Grammys, just to see what the nominations were, and I first didn't recognize anyone,
Wow. Wow.
and it was just kind of like, what's all this?
So you didn't even see any engineers in there. You didn't see
Oh, you
anybody.
recognize a few names, obviously, but nothing really that stood out. At least in the main categories, it was really not very anything that I was very impressed with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get the feeling from a lot of people like that, but they won't say that on the record.
So I'm
Um,
wondering, are we gonna get back to bands again ever? Are we gonna get back to that?
well, I'm
I
hoping
mean,
that people won't give up playing. I can't. I don't see it any other way. At
mhm,
least maybe it's just a generational thing. People maybe are growing up with instruments around the house or with the desire to emulate anybody that they can see out
Mhm.
playing. It's very
Mhm.
rare that people get that much publicity in a band that isn't, um, rapping or hip hopping.
I know, there used to be a thing called Battle of the Bands, you remember that?
Yeah,
And now everything's really about the voice, I mean, that's so big right
that's
now.
that's just like horrible because I know real excellent professional musicians that were basically cast into some of these shows to stir things up, and then they got basically shoved under the bus and nothing happened for them and basically get zeroed out.
Mhm. Mhm.
Really, really great musicians.
Right. That actually did all the wood shedding and
Oh yeah, that
put
in the
in all
middle,
the
and then
time.
yeah, they moved to Los Angeles after that, and basically now you see them going like, "Oh, goodbye, Los Angeles, I'm leaving. I should have never come." Blah blah blah.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah.
I did a video, maybe last week or whatever, but who killed rock guitar? Did you see
Hmm.
that one?
No, I haven't checked that out yet.
I mean, think about it. You remember the days that you and I were growing up, you had bands and then you had these lead solos,
Hmm.
I mean, I can think of thousands of bands where you had nice lead solos that was at least 30 seconds long.
Yeah,
And
but well, yeah. There's
y-
everybody had leads. Everybody had at least in the you know 80s.
so where's the guitar at?
Well, I mean they don't seem to be slowing down in sales. They're selling like crazy.
I
But I don't know. I
know.
guess people are just hanging them on the wall.
I
I don't know.
guess. I don't know, but here's the thing, man. I'm hoping, and I know you are too, man, that we can get back to some bands, and if we do get back to listening to some bands that come together and rehearse, I want to say my son told me today that he's seen an interview of Pantera when
Mm-hmm.
Pantera was, hitting hard,
Mm-hmm.
and they said that they rehearsed nearly 60 hours a week.
And it showed. Have you seen video? I mean, you went to see them live probably, but I never got the opportunity. But I've
Hmm.
seen video of them live, and it's
Hmm.
incredible. And and I've also I know people that worked with them live and otherwise, and they were machines, and that's what you want with an act, and that's what
Hmm.
if you want to be a successful act, you're going to play as good as you possibly can, and
Man,
if you if you rehearse that much, it's going to show.
it's gonna show. Yeah, man. They
Yeah.
were like that, right? I mean, locked in.
Hmm.
Oh man, you know what? Here's the thing, though. I remember going to some Rush concerts too, Dennis.
I
And I
went to
mean,
see them. I think I went to see them twice, but I know once definitely. I
wow.
was in high school, and it was still very new to me, the whole thing, and we were also kind of way up in the top because it was that's all I could afford, but it was awesome. I didn't really go to many concerts when I lived overseas, or even coming up as an engineer. I'm working all the time, so I don't get to go to concerts, and a lot of those times when you want to go to a good concert like that, it's a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
Um, Later on, I got the opportunity to go to better shows, especially when I was working for SSL. I know that I went to see when anybody was in town that was a client or knew a client closely or something like that. I reached out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
One of my lines was, "Hey, let me know when you're in town. I'd love to come and see your sound check or whatever." And usually, more than often than not, be like, "No, come to the show. Send you a couple of tickets." Blah blah blah. So it was great.
Yeah.
Um, that was I got to see some really nice shows that way. So it's also nice to be able to have that reference.
Well,
And
I
you
tell
see,
you, yeah, I was just gonna say, I tell you what, man, I miss that, and I know you
hmm
do too, man.
well, I can't wait for them to get back. One of
Oh
my main
gosh.
clients is a rock band. The Fat Bow. They cover Beatles,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I kind of need them to get back.
So
And
have you?
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I keep interrupting you tonight, man. There must be a
It's
little
all good.
delay. A little,
There's a little, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
but I was gonna say, have you talked to them? Did they want to get out
Um.
and play?
Oh yeah, they're all obviously just really eager to get out.
Yeah.
But they live all over the country. A couple of guys live in the city here. One guy lives in Ohio, um, and one guy lives out in LA. So it's a little, you know, they do what they do. One guy I think actually works. Well, Jimmy Vivino works for one of the night shows. I'm not sure if he's working right now, but I don't think anyone's really doing much other than like little Zoom things here and there.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't doubt that they want to get back.
and I bet you're just itching just as much as they are, right? I mean, just to be able to go out and get your
Yeah,
hands
it's
on.
interesting because I would hope they would want to go back into rehearsal mode because I would need a couple of days to get back onto back on my feet. Although I
Mhm.
would probably, if I got an email today saying, Dennis, we're gonna go into rehearsal in 3 days, I'd probably call my buddy and be like, hey man, I need to go by the shop. I need to bring my console file and look at the console and basically just move the faders around just so I can get my memory around in terms
Right.
of there are mix moves and the console is set in a particular way. So get remembering how everything flows in terms of how to access different functions in the console is very helpful in terms of getting ready for one rehearsal and two obviously the shows. And
Mhm.
the fact that I haven't done anything in a year and change.
Right, right,
So other than little small things.
right. And and isn't that important that we, and like you, it'd take you a little bit to kind of get in the groove and find the feel and get everything up and going the way you had it at one time, right? I mean,
Well, in terms of the gear, obviously, because we rely on modern equipment that can be recallable, I
Mhm.
have a console file that brings, the way the console was when I muted the last show.
Nice.
So it's exactly the same thing.
Mhm. Just hit that recall
Right.
button and
But in terms of what happens, in the time that it took from last show to now, I haven't done any show. So you do kind of, like doing a sport, you kind of lose agility, if you want to call it that. There's a
Mhm.
certain flow that goes with working with certain equipment. And, if you don't keep it up, you kind of do lose some of that edge. I remember the last show that I did at the airport, at Newark Airport, I had a smaller Yamaha console. And I'm like asking my assistant, dude, how do I remember? How do I do this? He's like, wait a minute. And we were both looking on YouTube, and then we look at it, and it's like, we couldn't believe how dumb it was that we couldn't remember that.
Right, right,
So it was
right.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So typically, how long does the rehearsals last if you go sit
Well,
in, you
for a
know?
regular, or say for a regular show day, say that the sound check for their band is once the gear is ready to go, it's 1 hour for the drummer and 1 hour with the band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty well, not
Yeah,
well. Sometimes not the whole hour because it depends.
yeah.
With me, I came in and everything just kind of happened very quickly. So they were basically doing about 4 songs each. 4 songs. The drummer's basically the drummer likes to do his own in-ear monitors, and he also has floor monitors.
Okay.
But he will sit with someone on the drums hitting. And sometimes sit on himself. He'll sit on himself and he'll hear, and then he'll adjust the microphones and tell me what to do to the microphone as he adjusts. And he'll adjust. He'll go back and play again and listen. He'll somebody come out and play, and he'll listen. So it takes a little while. It's usually very small changes from obviously from venue to venue, but it makes a difference. It makes it's because these guys are trying to recreate the recorded Beatles,
Right,
so it
right.
has to sound. The effects has to sound right, and everything's like. And his mix, he wants it to sound just like the record,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool. It does sound really nice.
Does he have a click track going on, a tempo that he each song
They
that he plays?
have they feed off of cues, like some of the recorded parts from the records, or they all play more than one instrument too. so they'll
Okay.
cue each other. One guy can play acoustic guitar, two electrics, and a couple of different keyboards and some percussion on
Yeah.
top of singing.
Nice.
And they all play. The one guy, the least that he plays is the guitar and sings.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, no, he has keyboards too. Yeah, Frank has keyboards also. So they all basically have, except the drummer, they all have keyboards. And say Jimmy Vivino plays keyboards and plays guitar, but he also will play a sitar if they pull it out. It depends on the songs that they're playing,
Mhm. Mhm.
but they all
Nice.
play them excellent.
Oh,
Very
I
like you're sitting there, you're going like sometimes you're like if you're not paying attention, you'll miss a cue, but they're so good that you're like, oh wow. Yeah, and I'll stand up and start mouthing up the lyrics. I'll start singing because they're that good.
Wow. Wow. And they've probably been rehearsing these songs
The
for
band's been around, I think, it's like 30 something years.
yeah. Yeah. So when they pick up those instruments, it's just an extension of their arm.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
and and all the instruments are beautiful, excellent. You know, vintage. Everything is vintage. Very much the Beatle type equivalent.
Nice. I would like to see that, dude. I'd like to see
Well,
that show, man.
well, they do have a lot online, on YouTube.
Mhm.
But yeah, when we were back out, we should.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always sold out. I didn't do one show that wasn't sold out.
Wow. Wow. Have you talked to Mick lately? Did he ever get moved in
I
and
talked.
and
He's in Vegas. I talked. Well, we texted a couple of weeks ago, but he was kind of busy at the moment. It's funny because he sent me a text, and it was his address, and I was like, I just sent me a question mark. And he was like, "Oops, so sorry. I was trying to send it to somebody else, but at least you have it now, so good." So
awesome.
yeah, he was just glad to be moving, but it was just kind of hectic. With all the doing everything takes 3 times as long with the whole pandemic happening.
Yeah. So do you have
So
to what I was gonna say, do you have to have a shot to fly? I mean, do you have to
well,
be vaccinated to fly? Or I don't even
I
know.
don't think to fly you have to, but you
Okay.
have to prove that you haven't that you're not positive, at least that you were vaccinated at least in the last X hours. I haven't had to fly, so I haven't really looked.
Yeah. Wow.
But I would say that if a job came along, I would probably at this point be required to at least be vaccinated or show proof that I'm not, contagious, or that I have been texted and tested and I'm not contagious.
Mhm. Yeah, I know people here have already gotten their second shot, man. I guess it's a
Tons of
two
people here too, but it's the eligibility was very weird because of the amount of vaccines they had access to. But I guess as of the announcement today, I mean tomorrow I can start looking and making an appointment. So I'm glad. Hopefully I can get the Johnson and Johnson. I'm calling it a day.
right, right. Hey, you seen the t-shirts that I'm having made right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And you know
I
which
think
one
they're cool.
I know, aren't they?
Yep,
I ended up going with the black and white, dude.
that's all good too. I mean, the design's really what makes it. It's all good.
And when I get them, I'm gonna have a little show, and I am gonna need your address to send you one, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll get on here and show them. I'm gonna send you a large.
Yeah, no, it's cool. At least you didn't go with the green. The green looked too much like the Shore.
I know.
Yeah, so it was good because
And
that's the
here
first thing. That's what's like. Oh, that's I like the yellow one.
I know, and I did too. Okay, so here's the thing. I went in and I sat in with the artist
Mm-hmm.
and I told him what I wanted. I wanted black and white. Well, and the font and everything else. He says, "Well, let me work with it." And I said, "Okay." And then before I left there, he says, "Well, I'm gonna send you some prints of this color, which was the fluorescent yellow, the fluorescent green, and then the white and black." So I got to talking with some of my friends, excuse me, and then I'd hear a little bit. This group over here said, "Well, I like the yellow ones." This group over here said, "Well, I like the green ones,"
Mm-hmm.
and then this group over here said, "Well, I like the black and white ones. That's timeless." And I was thinking, well, that's what. my original thought was. So I'm going with the black and white. I can always get
Yeah.
other ones made, you know?
Yeah, that's what I said. These days, you don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't even give you a minimum, so it's just order what you need.
Right. Oh, but by the way, these shirts are rocking, man. They're that I don't know, stretchy stuff, you
Hmm.
know? It's
Nice.
they call it a tri blend is what they call it.
Right on.
So it stays cool and it's stretchy, and so I think a large will fit you, man. It'd be fine, you know?
Yeah, I usually wear a medium, but I'm thinking I'm now a pandemic medium, which is really a large. A pandemic medium. Nice.
That's cool, man. Well, yeah, I'm excited to get them. I think they're going to be here Tuesday or Wednesday of this week.
Nice.
So
Just time
tomorrow,
for summer.
yes, I know, man. So I'm giving some of these away, then I want to do some drawings on some other ones, and then I want to have an option to where if you just want to buy one, you can buy one. But daggum, I wanted to tell you, man, I had no idea there's so much involved in this. So what they do is they'll burn this on the shirt,
Hmm.
and then they'll come with another print on top of it, whatever
Hmm.
color you want. But they consider I spent like $90 just in for every location that you put something, they charge you $30. So I spent like
Did you do that online or did you go to a business?
I went to a business.
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean that's. I mean it's going to
Well,
be more expensive, obviously,
yeah, now see, here's the
but at
kicker.
least you're supporting local businesses, and that's a good thing.
Well, here's the kicker, Dennis. I tried to do it online before,
Hmm.
and dude, they say, well, this is the area you can put it in, and when you do it and then you get it back, it's not like I did it twice, and both
Really,
times
where did you go though? Like,
it was like what was it? It was
not custom ink, is it?
no, it was another company
Yeah,
online. It started with a
custom.
P,
Ink.
P or
Mm,
Spring Teespring.
mm. I think I've seen that brand around, but the one I know that is very, you know,
And
tons
anyway,
of features is custom ink.
oh, dude, I jacked it all up.
Yeah.
I jacked it up twice.
No, check them out. I mean, they're really not that expensive, obviously, but the one you can choose like 50 different brands of T-shirts. Brands of different, from really cheap to very high quality, like cotton only stuff, really good stuff.
Hmm.
And you can put the thing wherever. You can put
Right,
the design anywhere you want it, and the label, I think, if you want.
right. Well, I wanted something here. You know that I wanted an
Hmm.
audio master here, and then I ended up getting something here on the sleeve right here, and then something. You've seen the shirts, but I
Hmm.
think I think it's gonna be pretty cool, man. I think people are
Yeah,
gonna
no,
dig it.
what you showed me looked really good.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that, man. So I wanted to ask you, man, what
Hmm.
other way could because I've been actually emailing some people, okay, different people. Uh, I haven't gotten any response yet, but hey, you
Okay,
never know unless you ask, right? That's what I've
exactly.
always, you can all, hey, so anyway, I've been reaching out and I want to get some other people linked together with all this, man. It'd be really
Hmm.
nice to get I don't know, like you showed me some stuff tonight. I know some people here that are musicians. It'd be just great to be able to find some way to connect people in this time that we're in right now, you know?
Well, online's the best way. Just trying to reach out and see if everybody can kind of reach a consensus on the time they want to meet and meet. See who shows up.
Right.
The online gatherings that I go to on a regular basis have been basically successful only because people have shown up. And there's a couple that are technical based, and a
Hmm.
couple are just people we show up on Fridays just to shoot the proverbial,
Hmm.
and guys of all levels. So I told you about this one. It's the
Yeah.
one guy from Avid and all these high, very prominent live sound mixers are all in there, and we mostly don't really talk about gear.
Yeah.
We
So
just
is there
show up, everyone's got a drink in hand, and we all kind of shoot the shit, we'll look each other in the screen and
yeah,
raise our hand, and then kind of keep the topic coming for a couple hours sometimes.
nice. Is there anything new coming out that I don't know about?
Well, it seems like, well, the one thing that I thought was pretty interesting is immersive audio, obviously, and Atmos mixing, object mixing, which is kind of like this what you did with surround, but with more speakers.
Nice.
And
Like when you say more speakers, like
well, you know that
you
there
know,
was a traditional when you went to a movie theater, there was 7.1,
right, or
you know,
5 to
and
1, 7 to 1, and
right, that just means the point one is the sub. Everything else is left, center, right, and then the two surrounds.
right.
Now, uh, in some of the newer video games, and then even some movie releases or some theaters, you can go and watch something in Atmos, which is a special process of mixing where besides all those elements, left, center, right, left, right, surround, and sub, there's additional. I think I forget. I think Atmos has 12 speakers or something like that, or more.
Wow, wow,
Where it's basically more localization of stuff, so
yeah,
the experience is a little bit more immersive.
yeah,
So there's not music just coming, or almost everything just coming from left to right. You have degrees of stuff behind you and on the sides. You know what I
nice.
mean? So it makes it a little bit more. It's a new way of doing things. So there, I found out that there is an app that you can buy for like $300 that lets you do it on your computer for headphones. If you don't, obviously, if you don't have a system, but if you went and you say you have a buddy that has an Atmos theater in Dallas, and said, "Hey, I can bring you this file and play it," they will play it. Um, but you have to sit there with your software and your headphones and mix these Atmos on a screen that it shows you. The interface is pretty interesting, and it literally shows you a little field of hearing and where you can place the objects. If you want your drums over here, your hi-hat over here, your effect returns over on this side.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or glass breaking way up here behind you
Yep,
or
all
something
done.
falling
Yep.
yeah, isn't that neat, man?
Mm-hmm.
That's a neat thing, and I don't know, man, but I think the movie theaters are open again. It seems like there was a
In
big,
some places there, I know in New York they're open, but limited admission, I think it is. But I wouldn't go to a movie theater right now.
yeah, yeah.
The whole airborne thing's pretty big.
Yeah, and here and here's the thing, you're confined in this one little you're in this room, right?
Yeah, airborne.
Yeah.
it's it's not
Oh, man.
rocket science, man.
I know, man. I know, I know.
But other than that, just keeping busy. So today I needed a bunch of extra cables because I bought some new pedals and stuff. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll build some cables.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I had gotten this um, cheap project amplifier from eBay. Like when eBay took 3 days to send stuff from China. It was like a $10 thing that I got on eBay for. It claims to be a 100-watt amplifier, stereo amplifier.
Wow.
So at
Wow.
first I didn't, operator error, and I missed one thing, and I sent the guy an email saying like, man, your thing doesn't work, because I tested all this stuff, and I like obviously like an idiot, I'm drinking whiskey and testing the wrong thing. So yeah, I'm putting the input into the headphone jack, So
Right.
so the other night I'm looking at it again. I'm like, oh, dummy. So I took out the soldering iron the other night. I think it was last night. That's why I didn't sleep. And I built a whole cable assembly for it and tested it. And it works. Guess what?
It works. Good, man.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, I was gonna tell you, and you probably know, but all this equipment, man, is showing up online for sale. It's insane. There's some stuff
Yeah.
I've never even seen before, Dennis. It was
Well, you joined that group, and there's people showing up their crazy stuff I haven't seen in there too. But a lot of it for sale. Yeah.
wow.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. I
Here's the
wish I could afford more of it. I mean, I don't need a ton of stuff. If something came out that was just completely irresistible in a price and because of what it was,
Mhm.
maybe. But
Right.
again, there's so much retro stuff that's made again that it almost doesn't matter.
Right, right. And then all these plugins that we have that emulate all
Hmm.
that old gear and whatnot. But it kind of, when I see this, me personally, it kind of scares me a little bit because it lets me know that these people are getting rid of their babies
Well, there's
because
that. Yeah.
the uncertainty with everything,
Well,
right?
you
I
know that
mean,
it's easy in this country to fall behind, especially because they're so easy. It's so easy to get credit,
mhm,
and I'm sure a lot of people are just up to their neck in credit debt.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if you can't if you don't own something outright,
mhm,
and also if you had to sell stuff right now, it's tough
right, yeah.
because who's buying anything at the regular price?
No, nobody.
And a lot of us in our industry, I mean, our stuff isn't off the shelf. And
Mm-mm,
if I had to buy my guitars, I probably wouldn't get full. I mean, even what they're worth, or even what they were new.
right.
All my stuff is upgraded.
Mhm.
All
So
my stuff is actually my SG is the only one that's not modified.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You ever show me that, man, with the pickups and all that, changing the
Hmm.
pickups and all that in there.
Hmm.
Don't you have one that has the oh gosh, they're well known in all the Gretsch guitars pickups.
Mm. I have, it's a guild, it's a 63 guild. No, sorry, 66 guild, Starfire. And that one's supposed to have that type of pickup, but the guy that gave it to me had put humbuckers. The humbuckers that are on my one Les Paul
Okay.
came in that, but I didn't like the sound of that in there.
Oh, the one he put in it, or the one
Yeah, I
that's
didn't like
yeah.
that. Those I didn't like those pickups on that guitar. They
Oh wow.
sounded wimpy. They sounded pretty wimpy.
Yeah, thin. It sounded thin or something.
They
Just
just didn't have a lot of juice coming out of them, and I think that maybe the wiring was just old.
okay.
Um, yeah, something in that guitar just wasn't happening. It plays nice. It's just electronically it wasn't really happening for me.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm still not certain what I'm gonna put. I might put some of those Filtertron type pickups
Yeah.
on it.
Fultron. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I was
Fil-
trying to.
Filtertron.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the company TV Jones makes a good copy of
Ah,
those.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I called that guy
Hmm.
and actually
Paul, I think Paulsboro. I think this is no. He lives in Paulsboro.
super nice dude, man.
Hmm.
I mean, kept.
I have a set of one of his pickups on the other Les Paul. They're really nice.
Hmm.
Here,
Yes,
I'll show you.
yes, sounds really, really good, man. I'm
Yes,
trying to
they
think.
do.
I ended up
Oh man,
buying.
this thing's heavy.
Oh wow, yeah, nice, man, nice.
This is the one I refinished.
Really,
Yeah,
you
I refinished this guy.
nice, Dennis.
This is
How
not
long?
even actually a Gibson. This is a
Epiphone or what? What is it?
Orville.
Oh wow, dude! But it says Les Paul on it.
I know these were made in Japan, and they were licensed by Gibson.
Okay.
That's why the shape of the neck exactly is it, and it's got the guy's first name.
Wow.
That's Mr. Gibson's first name.
Oh wow. I
And
didn't know.
so, because of some trademark deal in Japan, they couldn't call the same product Gibson in Japan. So they were like, "Oh, well, let's call it Orville." They're like, "All right, no problem." So there were two factories in Japan that basically made and copied all the guitars that everybody made, but they were very good. And as being Japanese people, they do their shit really, 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 really good.
Oh yeah, no
And
joke.
so, in these are not no sludge either.
Right.
Uh, the ones I have are considered like the entry level, and they're amazing.
Really. Let me
They're
ask you:
incredible.
does that hold a Les Paul standard, or is that
This
same
would be
weight, the
oh,
heaviness?
this one. Hey, this one is almost just over 10 pounds. The
Golly.
other one is just over 9 pounds.
Wow.
The other one I kept more like a standard. This one is more like the early with the single coil pickups,
Yeah.
and they both have bumblebee capacitors on them,
Nice,
which I
nice.
got. And here I got. See, this one's so much heavier than the standard, and then the standard.
Oh, I like that, babe.
See,
Oh, I love
and
those
these are the pickups that were in the guild when I first got it.
those DiMarzios. What kind of pickup is that?
No, these are Seymour Duncans, but really like
Nice.
early. Like these are Seymour Duncans from the 70s.
Nice.
Yeah, the guitar, like I said, it's a '66 Guild Starfire, and the guy gave it to me. He said he got those pickups in there around 1973, 74.
Not let me see the front of it again. Let me see that. Oh, that's beautiful, Dennis. Look at the colors in that thing, man.
And the only thing about these, they had a number of different versions. Like I said, mine were the entry level, and they had, as they rose in price, they made another series called Orville by Gibson. Like in the stock, in the headstock, it'll say Orville, and it'll
Okay.
say by Gibson underneath.
Oh, nice.
And those they made with the nitrocellulose lacquer
Not let,
paint. This is polyurethane paint.
okay, let me see the back of the neck. Hold it. Let me see the back of the neck where your hand slides. Oh, okay. Nice,
Yeah, I
nice.
mean the whole
I mean,
thing is that
does
it's
it
mahogany with a maple top, and I mean the way that they should be. The only
nice.
difference is literally the polyurethane finish on it, and the pickups are not as good.
Yeah.
The Orville by Gibsons came with USA pickups, with Gibson from USA pickups,
Hmm.
and everything, all the parts were all USA made. The
Wow.
pickups that came with both of these were really not that amazing. But
Yeah.
once I put these parts on them, man, and I
They,
played a lot of really good Les Pauls, a lot of expensive old Les Pauls that played like crap.
yeah. Oh, I know. I know.
And
I
both of these play really good. They're
really.
both different, but they both play really good.
Yeah. I think I told you already, but I had the Silverburst came off the assembly line in
Hmm.
'78, and I mean that thing was just everything about it just was just but that thing, man, it was super super heavy.
Hmm.
But I wanted to
Oh,
say
the
it's
gold top is heavy, and that one actually, when I told you I refinished it and when I got it, one of their models, which is that one, came with a what when companies did the photo flame top guitars.
hmm.
They had the fake flame looking tops.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. It was basically a plastic veneer that had basic basically a transparency of a flame top.
Oh right,
So
right,
when they
right.
place it on top and you put polyurethane on top of it, it looked like you had a real nice maple top.
Yeah.
So the one on this one, the guitar was, I guess, not stored properly, and
Mhm.
that part of the guitar was cracking. So the guy sold it to me for, made me a break, and it was a lot cheaper. So
Nice.
I took it out. I stripped it, and I waited like 6 months until I was able to paint it again with real, with a real gold top paint.
Yeah. How's the action on that guitar? Is
They're
the act
both, well, I like it as low as I can get it, and
yeah.
they're both very nice and acoustically lively. I mean, I like them both quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
They
man.
both ring really nice,
It's real nice. Real nice.
and they both have basically the specs of what you would get on a custom shop.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, ideally, I'd like to strip this one and get it into a nice, nitro cellulose lacquer, but it doesn't bother me right now at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it looks good, dude. It really
it looks
does. I mean,
great. It's
yeah.
it's, again, it's not broken, so I don't need to fix it. And the other one, again, I bought it because I knew I could fix that crack. I mean, that finish,
Yeah.
and I didn't make it perfect. It does look like they're old guitars. I mean, this thing's 26 years old. That one's 29 years old.
Wow. Wow. You never would have thought that. And let me ask you, how does I'm sure the neck's flat like a Gibson, right?
The
Everything.
neck is like this one is more 59. That one is a little chunkier. but it's not as big as my SG. My SG is not, you feel like you're like a little kid. You
Yeah.
feel like Angus Young when you that thing
Right.
is, looks, it's weird. Um,
Right, right.
but
But
it's noticeably bigger than both of these guys.
well, here's the thing, man. I've always been a Gibson guy. I learned on a flat neck, and so I can pick up some of the nicest tellies and strats. Dude, don't even give me one. I can't even play it. I can't even play it like I
Well,
can play Gibson, man.
it's a complete different instrument. Some people can adjust. I don't mind it. I like
Mhm.
guitars that are harder to play. They make
Right.
me play better, I guess,
Yeah.
or try harder rather.
Yeah.
But personally, I like low action like anybody else.
I do too. I like low action and I like that flat neck. And that's why I
Hmm.
like Ibanez guitars too, because they're that fast,
Yeah, Ibanez
flat
were
neck.
too small for was too flat for me. The flattest neck I have that's similar to that would be my Paul Reed,
Okay.
and that's probably as flat as I need to go.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I like I say, I've tried playing on other guitars. That, more of a curved neck to it,
Hmm.
around it, and man, I don't know what it is about it. Now. I can get my thumb over. Let me get in the picture. I can get my thumb over it like that, right?
Yeah, on
And I
some I
can do,
can. On
you
my
know.
SG is harder to do.
Uh,
On this Les Paul I can do it pretty well. On
yeah,
the other one it gets a little thicker around here. Around after the seventh fret, you can notice it getting a little bit wider.
yeah,
Not too much. I almost didn't get it.
right,
My
right. Well,
telly is just like my Strat. They're both pretty thin. They're very Fender like.
what do you have? What kind of pickups do you have in your telly?
Bill Lawrence.
Mm,
Bill Lawrence Keystones, I think they're called. They're very nice. Things will
nice.
make any guitar sound really good.
Oh, I bet, man. I bet.
I mean, my telly is very cheap parts. It's a guitar fetish body and Stu-Mac neck.
Okay. Wow.
Everything else is Fender or Purcell. All the other parts are really good, but the
Yeah.
body and the neck are just really considered basically garbage.
Oh,
But
wow.
they turned out really good. I mean, I shaped the neck, and after I put all the parts, I took it to my luthier, who basically straightened everything out.
Yeah.
I think he even found one of my business cards under the neck because I needed to shim it, and I was like, that's all I could find at the moment.
Wow.
And but he said it wasn't that bad off, but I'm not a luthier. And he put a bone nut on it, which is amazing, and now it really does play really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll show it.
you repotted it and copper shielded it and all that other good stuff, or what,
What do
Dennis?
you mean? The You mean the cavity and stuff?
Yeah, copper
Oh yeah,
shielded.
that I've
Yeah,
always I do not just the copper. I paint and copper.
both.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Here's my telly. I
Oh
made this.
God,
I made this to as a travel guitar, but it turned out really good. See,
man, that thing
you
looks amazing, dude.
you got the stickers online where it look like a real custom,
Yeah,
and it's not much to show. It's a telly.
it
The
looks
back,
amazing.
the back is actually, you can't see it really that well in this, but it's kind of like a dark wine red.
That's
I wish I
beautiful,
wish I
man.
wish they made the body like that, but this one's also nitro. I mean, not nitro. It's polyurethane,
Okay.
but this one
Wow.
sounds really good.
Yeah.
Also, it turned out really good. Yeah,
Wow. 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 That's
but
sick.
yeah, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know it's not a real Fender.
Yeah. Let me see the front of it again. Is it got the yeah? Let me see. Get it more the other way where I can see the switch where
Oh, the
you just
switch. Here, I got this.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I
Nice.
wanted to see what where I am in terms of level, so
Yeah.
I didn't use the metal cups.
I like it, man. I like it, dude. Wow.
Yeah, and
Nice.
also if you lose a ground, these things won't buzz.
Okay, so you got your front pickup,
Hmm.
then you got
Well, it's a standard. Actually, it's a four position switch
okay,
um, circuit. I found it online. I didn't design or anything. So it's your bridge, and it's got your combination of both. You
right?
got your neck, and then these both kind of like in series like a humbucker. And they
Perfect.
they don't do a bad job. Depending on where you have your tone. I dig it.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice,
it's
man.
simple. I don't need it to be too complicated. I
No.
need to.
Do you find yourself playing on the front pickup a lot on that guitar?
Depends on what you're doing.
Yeah,
I like the sound. The clean sound on the neck sounds really close to a Strat on the neck pickup. So if you
yeah,
needed to do a part like that, you don't need to put it down and grab the Strat.
right. It sure is pretty, man. That's a pretty guitar. I don't think you
Yeah,
showed me that one, man.
I don't think I showed you a lot of the guitars.
Uh, no, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the two Gibson like ones, but
I showed you the Gibsons before, yeah, but not
yeah,
too much.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
one of these days we'll do a show and tell instrument edition.
Oh, that'd be nice, right?
Because
That'd be
like I get all eager and I want to get more bass. I want to get another acoustic guitar. I want to fix more stuff on the other guitars.
I
And
know.
there's at least, let's see, yeah, there's 3, 4 guitars that I want to fix stuff on and
Yeah.
change stuff on. So it's always something to do.
Do you have any acoustic guitars?
Yeah, I
Any?
have well, we used to be basically an Epiphone,
Okay.
but kind of like the Jumbo 200. But
Nice.
now it's that only in name because I changed basically all the parts to
Yeah.
The Gibson equivalent. So it's nice. It's not a bad guitar. It's
Yeah.
been here for a while. It's one of the very early when they first started making stuff in Japan, China,
Okay.
and it took me a while to get used to it. Um,
Mhm.
it was just not an amazingly made guitar, so I kept changing things that made it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I tell you what, I like playing my here lately I haven't been practicing my riffs or anything, and it doesn't take long, and man, your fingers, you lose those calluses, and so it's
mm,
kind of like some I've been spending more time on the piano, dude.
you
And
got to
so
keep it going all the time, obviously.
I know. I know.
And at least for me, it's been easier. I play, at least 20 minutes every day,
See, that's perfect. You're
at
ready to go.
least.
Yeah, you're ready to go. You're ready
But
to go, man.
we had a neighbor that wasn't here for a long time, so it was easier to be able to crank it up.
Yeah.
And but I don't get to do that much anymore. But it's not bad.
Yeah. Well, have you thought about some smaller amps?
Yeah, I've
A
thought about
smaller
smaller
amp
amps.
and
No, but the
get
thing is that the one that my main amp that I use here has a master volume, and that one does get me a really nice room tone, even as at bedroom levels.
oh, nice.
It's not a bad deal, but obviously, after 10 o'clock, it's I prefer not to.
Right.
But I've thought about getting some of those older 1 watt Marshalls.
Mhm.
I don't think they make them anymore. I forgot what they were called. But they basically made 1 watt versions of, say, like the Super Lead or the JCM 800 or the what's it called, the Super Lead series. What was it called? It was like a 1990s amp that they
Yeah.
did. So every era of Marshall they have, they try to recreate this, but instead of having 100 watts, they put a 1 watt thing output thing there, so you can get that cranked up tone at bedroom levels.
Right.
Um, yeah, you look them up on YouTube. They used
I
to
wonder
have those.
I wonder if they've got the greenbacks in there or what speakers
Well,
actually.
these were just little heads. Their
Oh,
heads were
okay.
they're like this big, but they were
Oh,
still they were still tube.
okay.
But they were just 1 watt, so you
Right.
didn't really need a whole lot. I don't know that they may have made like little combos too, but I don't think so. It was just literally they look cool because they look like a little tiny like a little JCM 100, but this big,
Oh, wow.
and
Wow.
they do sound, like
Amazing.
what they no, they all sounded like what they were trying to emulate,
Right.
which they were because it's the same preamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I still kind of, I want to build a bunch of different amps and all kinds of stuff. But I don't need to really have something that's too small because these guys get pretty decent tones at any level, and the quieter it gets, the more pedals I keep getting. So it's not a bad thing.
Right. Right. Right.
Like the one I was building today with cables for this, I got an Echoplex pedal. It's
I
not
love
it's not the one with the tape. They make a little pedal that emulates the digital thing, but it with your little tap thing, it's really neat because A lot of the digital delays out there sound a particular way. And I have on this pedal board, I have one besides this one. It's a TC Electronic, and like the old school analog delays, when you slow, if you have a repeat going, if you slow down the tempo, the the speed of the delay didn't change. With this analog one, it does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I like that. It does, all the old school like feedback, saturation type of stuff, which is neat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the who makes this thing? MXR? No, sorry. Is it MXR? No,
MXR?
no.
MXR has been
MXR makes the Univibe, and I have that one too. But I
okay,
forget. I think they're under the same company, but just look it up. I think it's whoever makes the Echoplex pedal. Look, Echoplex pedal,
okay,
and they. Mm,
that's not Electro Harmonics, is it? I
no, no,
think
no.
okay,
No, and they try to market it with this other pedal. It's like a preamp just to boost the signal, but you,
okay.
you don't need a boost. You don't need to boost the freaking signal.
No,
No,
no.
you can put
Um,
anything else on top of it if you really wanted to put more signal into it. But the way I'm using it here today, from my perspective, don't need it.
yeah,
If
what
and
other
if I needed to, I'll just put the EQ in front of it, and that boosts whatever I need to.
right, right. What other, because it seems like you sent me a picture of all your,
Oh,
boxes.
here.
Do you have a what other delay do you have in your line, in your chain?
Well, there's
You
the
you
internal machine here, which is the basically the brain of the whole operation, if you want to call it that. Um, Here, let me shift this so you guys can see. I have to move my production value lighting. See if I can switch. How can I switch the camera here? Did you lose me?
yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
here
can
we go.
see
Here we go.
I
Here
can
we
see
go.
oh,
Here
nice.
we go.
Oh,
So
nice. Wow.
all the stuff that's to the bottom is the stuff that I've added recently, and actually the stuff that's on the top right, I also added recently.
What
It's
is
just
that?
all.
What is that C2? Is that C2? What is that?
Oh yeah, that C2 is made by this Russian company called AMT, and their pedals. They have a couple different things. They have straight up pedals that do effects, and they have these other ones like this one that are called preamp pedals. They do distortion, and they do have um, the connections for that, but they also work as a preamp. And the way I have it on this and my setup here is going into the effects loop of my amp. So it's putting its own distortion into the amp on top
Nice.
of the distortion that the amp already has, and a couple other distortions that I have in this. Because for instance, these four guys, that one is that's distortion, that's distortion, that's distortion,
Oh, wow.
and that's distortion,
Wow.
and that's a reverb with a delay in one loop. And here we have the Univibe with a there's a what's it called an EQ underneath that with these guys here. There's an octave and a compressor with an old CE1 chorus.
Nice.
And then in the front end, got the volume pedal with a wah, and then it goes into this CVEX dual boost pedal, and
Okay.
then this homemade distortion overdrive that I made.
Wow,
Then
that
that
looks
and yeah, it's all right. It's not bad.
uh-huh.
It's not the better ones that I have, but it does a couple of good things. And then that goes into this boss unit here. This is a kind of like a looper. All these things are groups. The distortions are in loop one. Then these two guys are in loop two, and then all these guys are in loop three. Then these cats are in front, and then this guy is in its own loop
Nice.
into the amp directly, and these guys are in front of the guitar.
Wow, is it going in stereo in that one? The
No,
C
this one I
what
don't
is that?
have. No, that's because it's going one. It's going back and coming back, going
Okay.
into the amp and coming back into the amp. It's what
I
it goes.
got
It's a loop.
I got you.
And then this guy here's the Echoplex with the tap tempo, and this is another reverb that I have
Nice.
in front of everything. And this fuzz deal that's awesome.
I
It's like
bet.
it's a bender.
Oh, nice. Where's that one from? That fuzz bender on that one.
Oh, it's a
Where's it?
Keeley. It's a
Uh,
Keeley.
okay.
Here.
Wow. 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 That thing. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can blend it in between, between a fuzz or between a tone bender.
Yeah.
The
I think.
tone bender is like where it breaks up, like really like crackly, almost like that song from the James Bond movie that Jack Black did.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Jack Black, Jack White, the
Right.
wrong Jack.
Right. Wow, man. I was gonna say, do you like that pedal? I mean, does it
Oh
sound
yeah,
good?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Wow. Wow, man. You really got a nice setup, dude.
Well, I mean,
I
I
mean,
had all these pedals lying around for a while, and before the pandemic, I really never really had any time to play. And
yeah.
when I did, half the time I'm spending looking for cables that worked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
So
figured it was time to make it happen.
what are you powering everything with? You gotta have something powering
I
them
have
all.
yeah, this thing. I have two power supplies on this thing. One of them is the company Pedal Train used to make a power supply that was really well rated, and I found it at a decent price. I forget what it's called right now, but if you search Pedal Train power supply, they have newer
Okay.
ones, but this one had a lot of outputs and stuff, and a lot of selectable voltages and things, so it's nice.
Nice.
Um, and then it also has an additional convenience AC outlet. So if you need to power more stuff out of it, you can, which I did. That's how I powered the one pedal, the big chorus that has a regular plug. And then on top of that, I looped out into another power supply. I think it's from One Spot. It's the One Spot. I forget the model, but it's got six outputs. I think
Okay.
a couple of them are selectable, and that lets me do everything individually.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it pays off, man. I think this thing's clean, really
Oh
clean.
yeah. Oh
This
yeah.
thing's
So
really clean. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because some of that stuff's a little power hungry, and it sounds like, man, you got it taken care of, man. I mean,
No, they're all there.
how many more pedals can you add?
None.
If you
I would need to add probably another. I mean, and this is the problem I have. I don't know where to put the other ones because I want to keep them.
yeah,
So they were kind of like a test. I was like, man, I'm just testing them out, but now I kind of want them there. But
right.
now I'm thinking that maybe I should make either a second tier for the other pedals, or I don't know what.
Yeah, or what about this? Do you have 2 amps? Do you
Oh, I
have
got
2 guitar?
three. I
Oh,
got three, and I mean,
well, do.
I mean, yeah, but I don't need to do that. That's
Yeah,
just too much. That's too complicated.
it
Not
is, but
complicated. It's just I don't need to do that
right, right,
because
but,
I can have I have actually the C2 has basically like a DI output that's
okay.
going into a DI, and that's going out to my snake and going back to the console. So if I want to have that stereo thing, I can use that.
Right, right. There's so many different options that you have other
Yeah, I mean
amps.
that's the way I can do that. If I want to have that, for clean sound to get all swirly in here after I have a couple of whiskeys, yeah, it's awesome. Doesn't I can start going crazy with this
Yeah, you and
Echoplex and go nuts.
oh yeah, man. And you look, here's the thing, you got all those pedals and you got 3 amps. It makes me think of a little bit how you remember Eric Johnson? You
Kind of
remember
like that. I mean, I
you
could do
remember
it.
how he,
I just need more speaker cabinets. I only
yeah,
besides this one speaker cabinet, I only have one raw 12-inch speaker. But
yeah.
I'll show you
Oh nice.
the
Yeah.
tower of amps. Here's
Yeah.
my current cabinet. It's a Ampeg 412.
Wow.
It looks kind of like the bass rigs,
It
and
does.
this was made for an old Ampeg bass amp, the
Okay.
B42, and this is the B42 X cabinet, which is 412 speakers. It's
Wow.
it's a little shorter than the 812 cabinet that they make for bass,
Mhm.
and it sounds awesome. It's got the original speakers. I got it in Georgia
I
years ago.
I bet you that thing's got some meat to it, man. You
It
know it?
does. It sounds really good with bass too, obviously.
Wow.
On top is a Music Man HD 130, and that silver one is a Fender Dual Showman TFL 3000 or whatever they call it, 5000.
Yes.
Sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and they all sound really good. They all different. They're all different.
Yeah. Wow.
But the VHT is the one underneath. Yeah, I didn't show you that one that well. That guy.
Yeah, man.
I turned the logo upside down because the company that company is different than the old VHT. The
Mhm.
current VHT company basically had the guy that owns. Have you seen Fryette amps?
No, but are those 10s or 12s in that cab?
12s.
Nice.
Yeah, they're CTS speakers from 1970, whatever it was.
Oh, wow, dude. I bet you that thing's got some
It
balls to
it
it,
does.
man.
It's 120-watt cabin or whatever, but I don't. I never really have played it too loud.
Well,
You don't need
yeah.
to. It sounds
Yeah.
great at whatever volume, and plus with this VHT amp, you don't need to crank it.
Yeah.
It sounds really good at pretty much every volume.
Wow, I bet, man.
And they will start opening it up a little bit more, and all of a sudden you get like instant ZZ Top if you put the right guitar in front of it.
Oh, man, I love that tone too, man.
Hmm.
That tone is just insane. Just that that grit,
Hmm.
man, you know? But yeah, that cabinet, man, I don't know. I like 12s, man. I prefer 12s over 10s, but you know, some people
Well, it
prefer.
depends on what you're using because if you're getting like a super reverb or something like that that has 4 of 10s, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And then it depends also on the guitar, the type of music you're playing.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't mind having a deluxe reverb, a small combo,
Mhm.
and obviously a lot of other amps. Like a 50-watt Marshall. All the standard toys that everybody wants, but
Mhm. Well, here's the
all in
thing.
good time.
If you had another cab, here's the thing. You got the heads. Here's the thing, man. You could uh make a box to switch you back and forth with with a set of pedals for
Hmm.
this head and a set of pedals for this head and just a box to switch you back and forth.
Yeah. What's the name of the brand? Radial. They make some good switch boxes like that. Um,
As long as you don't hear that that
no,
pop.
no, no. Those guys are relays, so you don't really switch anything. That's like I like this looper thing. You switch in delays and all this other stuff, and you don't hear it. You still need to plan out where you have it in the chain because if you have a delay before a reverb and you switch that off, it's not going to go through. Or if depending on what you're doing with your volume pedal. All my pedals, at least the ambient stuff,
Yeah.
is put where it is to work with the you know stepping on your volume,
So you've
so you
been
can swell into stuff. Oh yeah.
nice, nice. So you've been playing every day on your instruments. I
Uh-huh.
love it. Thumbs up, man.
Oh yeah. Well, it's also
You know,
you do a lot of research, and with the mics that I have, I put up stuff and see what they sound like.
man, that's awesome, dude. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. I'm so glad you've been working in the studio, man. And I just can't. I'm hoping that soon we can get back to some kind of normalcy, man, where you can get out and go and
Hmm.
do your thing that you do best. Hang out with some old buddies, man.
Well, it would be cool, hopefully be back on tour soon, and I can be like, "Hey, Randy, we're gonna be in your neck of the woods soon. Come out to dinner."
I would love to do
You know?
that. You need to hit me up whenever that happens, man.
Oh, I'm sure you would know. I promote the hell
Yes.
out of it.
So you've been doing good. Everything else good, man. Everything else good.
Yeah, just trying to stay not sitting in one place in one spot.
So I've been hitting the gym a lot, dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you kept
Crazy.
asking. You kept. I know you keep active.
I mean, I've been hitting the gym insanely. I did a class tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's just amazing, man. The transformation with a little
Yeah.
bit of diet and a little bit of good cardio and hitting the weights hard. What's going on with myself, man?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane, man.
Yeah, I'm going a little bit slower. I traded in a lot more beer for water,
Well, that's okay,
and
man.
so you do see a change.
It's harder for you probably to get out than it is for me. I'm 3 minutes from my gym.
Well, it's
3 minutes.
never. I never been a gym guy. I'll get on my bike and go and do that,
Right,
or do stuff at home. Um,
right. Well,
Traditional.
you got the scenery there, man.
Yeah, there's that. It's easy to get out here and go.
You got the scenery, man. You know?
But I'm due for some beach, man. I can't. You know, went a whole year without going to Florida.
I know. Dude, you gotta get in the water, man.
Hmm.
It's, get hooked up, man. There's
Yeah.
nothing better than that. Mm-mm.
Well, I got at least I got at least my I caught my best trout here, so I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm talking about freshwater trout. I'm not talking about
Right,
sea
right,
trout.
right. But the water's
Those are cool
cold.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's I'm fly fishing and the whole deal, so it's a little different story.
Right, right,
And it's kind of like when I go fishing in Florida, but because I'm sight fishing also,
right.
but I'm just doing snook fishing. But the water is so much different than for you, like the water for you guys.
Yeah,
Our water can be like a fishbowl for
yeah.
weeks,
Wow, wow.
and the fish will see you from a mile away.
Oh, wow.
So you have to be super sneaky and
Yeah.
and overcast over stuff and just
Right.
but you love it. I love it. And
You're not gonna just walk right up on them, man, right? You can
no,
spook them.
oh, I'd be right there, buddy. That was my kid coming to bed.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining in tonight,
Of
Dennis.
course, man. We'll do it
I,
again.
I always appreciate. Hey, look, and so when the t-shirts come in, I'm gonna do a little show, and you need to send me your daggum address, dude,
I
so
will.
I can send you one.
I
You
will do
know,
that.
and but yeah, thank you again as always. I love seeing you. I love having you on my show, man.
Yeah, man. We'll do it again.
Let's do it again.
Yeah,
And
I
the
gotta
mean,
get everybody keep using those Shure mics because they are very good.
yes, aren't they, man? And so
Mm-hmm.
I did a show the other night about placement on mic placement and how just and you and I talked about this before that
Mm-hmm.
1 inch a little further.
Even less. And it's not just close behind. It's ever so slightly. Just like the angle, every angle, every axis makes a difference.
Makes a difference, you know. And how
Mm-hmm.
many times have you seen it? Because I've seen it thousands of times, Dennis. I walk into a studio and they'll put something up and they haven't found the sweet spot yet, man. Why? You know, spend a little
Well,
more time and I don't know. I don't get it. You know.
I've never been in a situation like that where I had to spend a lot of time finding a sound.
Mhm.
Um, or I've never been in a situation where I've seen somebody having to go and beat around the bush so much to get a sound.
Right.
I could imagine that it has to do with experience or just maybe a combination of, yeah, I don't know. Again, I've
Yeah.
never seen it, so it's hard to say. I mean, most people that I've ever worked with have had an idea of what they wanted.
Right, right. Yeah, I was specifically thinking, you know, acoustic guitars or instruments that you would actually
Hmm.
have to mic, you know, the guitar. And I've seen situations before where,
But I was thinking about that because I remember when I first got started. And I remember one day working in this club in Portland, Oregon. I remember this guy was supposed to be like a really popular artist that used to come play at this bar all the time, and he always complained that his guitar didn't sound right and stuff. And I remember not doing very much. And he's like, "Hey, that's it, don't touch it." And I didn't think I really did look. I just heard it. I guess it's kind of like a voice. So you
yeah,
kind of, obviously in the context of live sound, you're mostly going to be dealing with a DI
yeah,
or a piezo type of arrangement with a preamp and stuff. So it's kind of controlled and it's much easier to deal with. But back in the day, there was unusual that all you had was a couple of microphones of 57, if that,
right,
and a really, 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 really bad quality condenser mic. And good
right,
luck if your console was, any decent. So getting any of that in good shape to the monitors was, good
right,
luck.
right.
But you manage, and it starts with your gain and then how you EQ the thing and how do you present it for first. Listen to the guy playing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's a big thing right there. How's he playing? Right? You
Yeah,
know?
how's he playing? What's he playing? Are you playing? What are you going to be playing? or you're just goofing around and then you're gonna play completely something different.
Right. And a lot of
Because
times,
I've seen that happen too.
yeah,
People come to the sound check and they'll be like, all right, cool, that's cool, man, and then they'll come to the show and play nothing like what they did in the sound check,
right, right,
and they and complain.
right. Play too hard or play too
Yeah.
soft or whatever,
Hmm.
but not the same way.
Or louder. I had the people. Oh, I'll say it because I don't care. The bass player from Spyro Gyra coming back from from rehearsal and going back into the show, 2/3 louder. What can I do about that? Nothing until about halfway through the show when people are really pissed off.
Right, right.
So,
Well, he brought in things that he didn't have in the rehearsal or the sound
well,
check.
he just made it fucking louder after the rehearsal and
Yeah.
not tell me. you know.
Wow. Wow.
Some
I
people are
know.
like, "Why does he have distortion?" I was like, "I don't know. He's the bass player."
Yeah, where did that come from, right?
Hmm.
Oh man, he pulled the rabbit out of the hat on you, man, is what he did. That's
Yeah,
silly.
well, it's the one time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't happen that often.
I know, man, but
And it was
don't that make
jazz or whatever. Nobody really knows.
That's right, man. Hey, we're free forming tonight,
That's
man.
right.
We're ab living, you know.
Yes. Right on,
thank
Randy.
thank you, man. I love it, man. I love
Thanks
it.
for
And
having me, man.
yeah, as always, man. And we'll do another show here. And like I say, when the shirts come in, man, I'll let you know. I'll just call you or whatever,
Yeah, you
text you,
just let me know.
you know. And but in the meantime, man, stay safe, right?
Likewise, man.
Be strong, and thank you so much for joining in, Dennis. We will see you again, my buddy.
Right
Thank
on,
you.
man. Be
All
well,
right,
man. See
all
you,
right, brother.
everybody.
Okay, bye. That was my friend Dennis Riva Deniera. Awesome. I love having him on the show, man. He's so knowledgeable, such an awesome dude. Just amazing. I can't wait till we can spend some time together. Maybe it's fishing or whatever. I don't know what's going to come up in the future, but I can't wait to spend some time with him. Every time I do have him on the show, he always makes me laugh and feel good and comfortable as if I've known him for 100 years. And so, thank you again, Dennis, for joining in tonight. As always, I love having you on my show. Tonight's show was just a little bit about this, a little bit about that, but mainly it was about networking and how we can network and bring other people in the picture. And this is, you never know who's listening to your work. And you never know who you're going to meet out there when you do networking with your music, when you do networking with, what you do, whether it's just being an engineer. You never know the other engineers that you could possibly meet. Perhaps they might need an assistant to come join them, and you doing your networking and reaching out and putting your feelers out there are going to draw these people in to say, hey, I want that guy to work with me, or he seems like a cool dude, or she seems like a cool chick that I might want to work with. And so networking is essential and it's really important. I learned a lot working with BNI, how networking can change your world as far as the people you meet and can come in contact, and not only just to be able to do business with when you network, but these are people that could possibly be a long-term, lifetime friends, and you develop a friendship with. And so, what a beautiful thing to not only just have business partners that you meet or business or clients that you do work for, but these are possibilities to develop great, great friendships that last a lifetime. So thank you guys so much for joining in on the Audio Master Show. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do right down there. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and slam that bell right out of the park, man. Go ahead and get you a grand slam. Do the whole deal. And until next time, which is tomorrow night, we will see you again.